Well, I found myself in the Starcraft 2 beta, and first of all I want to say a big thank you very much to the guy whose account I'm borrowing. H. Joey, as you can see, that's me. It's actually not me, it's somebody else. I'm borrowing his account. So thank you very much for letting me into the Starcraft 2 beta. I didn't receive a key, but at least now I can play and do a few videos for you guys. I am the red Terran at the 2 o'clock position, and my opponent is the blue Zerg at the 12 o'clock position. And today is my first day on the beta. Other people have been playing for weeks now, or however long it's been out. I really don't know what I'm doing in terms of build orders or matchups, or really what some of the abilities do. But I've been playing today. I played a few games against the computer AI, and then I went online to play against some real opponents. And this is a real life opponent. Didn't really know anything about him, and interestingly enough, the guy whose account I'm borrowing had gone about 5 wins to 11 losses. So the automatic matchmaking system had paired me up against people that were appropriate to be playing against him. Whereas I've been playing Starcraft 1 for a little while, and I at least had basically a basic idea of how to play an RTS game. So I'm now on like 7 wins with no losses. I haven't actually lost a game of Starcraft 2 yet. I'm expecting to any moment, because there are plenty of people playing the Starcraft 2 beta who are more experienced at the beta than I am, and who are better Starcraft 1 players than me. So I'm looking forward to that. But for the meantime, just trying to learn how all the mechanics work, and what the maps are like, and what the tech tree is like. You can see that I'm building a refinery, and every base has 2 Vespene gas geysers. We'll talk about that a bit more later, but I'm not really sure how early you're meant to take both geysers. I think you really should take both of them very quickly. My opponent's gone for a spawning pool, as you can see there, as well as a hatchery, and just moving into Scoutum now with my SCV. And one of the first impressions that I have about StarCraft 2, having played it now, is that it's very straightforward. It is very similar to StarCraft 1 in a lot of respects. It's an easier game. It's easier to select units and give commands to a lot of guys at once, and select the buildings and so forth. One important thing that I've noticed is missing from StarCraft 2 is the ability to go Shift F2, Shift F2 or Shift F3 or whatever to mark a location. Maybe it is possible to do that. I haven't really bothered looking into it to see whether it's possible to find out. I should probably have a closer look at the interface and the controls. But for now, I can't sort of mark a point in the map. But you don't really need to as much, because it's easy to control your buildings and macro. Now, moving in my SCVs onto the ramp as I normally would, but he sent 6 Zerglings in. And I'm just not really sure how the pathing works. So easily getting past my guys and straight to my base, which was annoying. Marines running back now, so I'm having to take SCVs off mining to actually deal with this. Back in StarCraft 1, as you guys know, it was really easy to block stuff in, and not anymore. The Zerglings are quite anorexic. They're really easy to get through the gaps and so forth, so having to just drive them out the old-fashioned way. I've got a Marauder though, and as you can see, there are 2 barracks, and one of them is upgraded with a Reactor. Just doing a little bit of micro here to avoid the Zerglings. I haven't got any medics at this early stage of the game. You can only heal your units with a Medivac dropship, which we'll talk about a bit later. But there you can see my Marauder. He's quite a buff-looking dude, and quite a good unit to support the Marines early on when you don't have any healing, and very, very cool. All of the games that I've been playing so far have been one-base play games, so you can get a lot of minerals, and you really need to get those refineries up to keep up with your opponent. I haven't been bothering to do any sort of defensive builds with fast expansions, but I'll be trying that soon. It's just that the game plays a bit differently in terms of that timing. In the early game, there are different units which affect sort of the timings as to what would normally be strong against what in the early game. For example, in StarCraft 1, Zerglings were better than Marines until you get medics, so you've got control of the field, the military outfield, once you've got medics in there. And here we go with a big Zergling rush. He sees that I've got too many troops on the ramp, so he's pulling back. But back to my thought there, with this game there are other things which happen in Tier 1.5, Tier 1.5 that is, and Tier 2, like roaches, like Marauders, and I'm not really sure when you know, you have military dominance as Terran and when you don't, and so forth, and when you need to time expansion. So I'm just playing it safe and doing everything off one base until I can watch some replays. Haven't bothered to watch any good replays from any good opponents yet. I'll be getting around to that, but hey, it's my first day. Just really getting used to it, taking in the scenery. The graphics are pretty good. I haven't got them on the absolute maximum graphics. My computer is pretty good, and I haven't bothered turning it up yet. But I've just kept it what the default suggested to me. Plan here really is to camp for a bit until I've got some medivacs, and then I'm going to attack them, because medivacs plus Marines plus Stimpaks generally do pretty well as far as I've seen, or at least I'd expect them to do, just given what their mechanics are all about. He's massing Zerglings a lot here. I've seen him do that, and I've seen that he's on 2 hatchery. Most of the opponents I've played so far have no idea what they're doing, and they just don't even bother expanding, but this guy seems to have a vague idea of what to do. He's got a lot of Zerglings as well, so ready to attack me with those. But because he's built so many Zerglings, and I do know that he's got a lot of Zerglings out there, I've decided not to expand so quickly. I've decided just to do a timing push and really hit him, because I feel like his drone count's fairly low. He's got that Zergling there waiting for me to move out so he can just charge through. And over here, moving my factory over to a space, the plan here is just to skip factory units and go for medivacs. And this gives me a little bit of scouting. Might decide to drop the factory there and land and build a Helion, which is the equivalent of a Vulture. I don't really like the Helion unit very much. I really like the way the old Vultures played, the mechanics of them, how fun they were to sort of use and watch, and the effect they had on the whole game. Only real Terran unit that could harass, apart from maybe the Wraith and dropship attacks, of course, in the old game. But this time it's Helions and Reapers, which I haven't built too many of. Still just getting the hang of the basics here. Once I get a bit more comfortable with the basic builds and the basic units, then that's when I'll start doing fancy stuff like Reapers and Helions. But anyway, my opponent has seen me leave my base, so he's charging around with his Zerglings, and I've had to pull my troops back here because I realised that he had a gap. I was hoping to be able to block him off, but couldn't really manage that, and he's going straight for my command center. Now, a lot of experienced Starcraft and RTS players would really just go straight for the SCVs. But he's gone for the command center again. I don't really know why, because I could either repair that or lift it off. And seeing an opportunity to kill some Marines there, he's done that. I've got all my SCVs around to help out, and now that my troops are back at base, time to start killing them. Command center really low on health though, so lifting it off, just repairing it now. Command center stays alive. I feel like I probably would have lost if I'd allowed that to be destroyed, but it's pretty easy to keep it alive. In the meantime, just wiping out Zerglings as much as I can. Getting SCVs back in the money again, and now I can move back and counterattack, and that's really what the plans have been all about. Good to see that the medivac still actually heals SCVs. That's positive. And yeah, I haven't got such a huge army, but at least I've wiped out all of his